All right, we're visiting again, once again with head boys soccer coach Shawn Bromelkamp, and it's kind of been up and down the last couple weeks, but the level of hockey that you guys are playing at is just jeez, did I say hockey at the beginning too?
I don't think so.
Oh, all right, soccer. The level of soccer that you guys have played, dating back the last few years, is at such a higher level. What can you attribute that to?
I think it's probably a couple of things. Some consistency in what's going on, but I attribute a lot of it to like my assistant coach, junior varsity coach Rick, who puts on a soccer camp in the off season. Having an opportunity to have a CAM YSA program, a traveling soccer program, and a lot of it, these captains who are deciding not just to put in work during the soccer season, but let's all play soccer this day in the middle of June or the middle of July. Let's all work on these skills, and there's a lot more focus in practice these days to improve instead of going to practice because you have to and socializing and maybe kicking a soccer ball around at the same time. It's all more improvement focused, and it shows.
Yeah, definitely. A note to kind of talk about. You guys had a kind of a disappointing loss last week to Stewartville.
Yeah. And
the next morning we were out at the turf, 7:15. It was a late start for the high school, or delayed start, I guess I should say. That started at 10. And we were working with the guy that was going to fluff the turf and clean the turf and repair any rips in the turf. And who comes out there at 7:15 in the morning? Mr. Goodman and BB, and they were kind of disappointed that they couldn't get on the turf, but then they just moved over to another field and they were working on their skills. They were disappointed in probably the result from the night before and wanted to put in some work to prepare for the next game. So I have the opportunity of living by the stadium and drive by there, several times a day. And just like you said, June, July, August, they're always out there.
Even last Friday we had homecoming. I gave them the day off from practice, and I know about half the team practiced anyway. Without any organization for me, they just said, sections are coming up, and we want to get better.
That's great. Well, speaking of sections, we did face a section opponent in Byron on Monday, and Byron is kind of like very comparable to us record-wise in the section in the conference, and that was just a tremendous game. Talk to us a little bit about that.
It was it was a really good game. It was 0-0 at halftime, and it ended up being 1-0, and Byron's goal came off of a penalty kick.
Right.
And there were a lot of us thinking, well, that wasn't the right type of foul to call on that penalty kick. One of our defenders, Dalton, was jumping up to get the ball, and there was a leg kind of swinging at him.
Yeah.
It's a situation where the team who gets the penalty kick is really happy, and the team who doesn't is really unhappy. But it was a really hard fought win, and when we're talking about signs of improvement, in addition to wins and losses, Byron won the conference last year and beat us 10-1 last year.
Yeah. And
it was 1-0 this time, and it was a hard fought game, and I think everybody can see strides from one season to the next, and I hope that improvement continues even throughout the end of this season, and we can make a real push in sections, and hopefully the improvements continue on for years after this.
Well. Definitely. That's a great note. And Byron head coach Dave Barr, who used to coach here, and we worked together a lot because we both coached in the fall and sharing turf and switching fields. You know how that goes. But he had nothing but good things to say about the progress of our team and the kids' fight and heart to battle through the entire game that way. Well, let's talk about sections. Well, this is already August 6th, and we've got two regular.
6th.
Struggling.
You're all over the place.
October 6th, we got 2 regular season games left, and then playoffs start next week. So we have a home and an away. We've got Schaefer Academy coming here Thursday, and then we travel to Red Wing, who is a section opponent, on Saturday, and then you begin playoffs right away on Tuesday. So what can you tell us about Schaefer Academy, Red Wing, and then leading up into playoffs?
Schaefer Academy is usually a tricky team because of who they end up playing a lot of times throughout the season. And I think a lot of times in the season we think, oh, it's Schaefer Academy. It shouldn't be like a Byron. It's not going to be like a Pism. But then each year Schaefer plays us really hard, and we haven't beat Schaefer yet, at least in my years of coaching here. And they knocked us out of the playoffs last year as well. So Schaefer Academy is going to be a tougher team than I think we usually like to give them credit for. They've actually got a pretty good win-loss record here too, and it'll be our regular season home closer, if you want to call it that. So it's a really important game to us, especially with us being on a small little losing streak right now. It would feel great to get that monkey off our backs against Schaefer.
A little momentum heading into playoffs.
Definitely.
Or into Saturday before playoffs, and then
Right.
And then Red Wing, you travel there. They're actually bringing their girls here, so it's kind of a home and away. What do you know about them? I haven't seen much on them.
Red Wing is one of those. So there's been section realignments and things like that. We used to think of Red Wing as a team that's record doesn't always look great, but they're playing bigger opponents than we were in the past. Yeah, with the Big 9 schedule. So we thought, Red Wing's always a little bit better than what the record might show, and the record shows that they're having a struggling season right now. But there have been times I think, without thinking subconsciously, we've been looking at the schedule and overlooking teams, and that really came back to bite us. And we really can't let that happen because, like you said, Red Wing is a section game, which is going to count towards what our section seeding is. So we're going to have to bring our best that game, especially because we've been doing much better at home than away, and Red Wing is an away game. So no matter what their record says, we're going to have to play some of our best CAM soccer to win.
Right, and that's a big thing, in high school sports. You take care of yourself first, and try not to play against two teams, beating yourself up and then beating the other, beating out the other team is hard enough. So, speaking from experience, I know exactly how you feel going into those games, and so you want the kids to play at their top level no matter what the opponent is coming to town. And then, like Coach said, that will lead into playoffs, which will start Tuesday, the 12th of October, not August, my mistake earlier. And then, it's an 8-team sectional playoff this year. Previously there were 2 different classes in soccer, and now there are 3. So it's very, very comparable enrollments, and it's a nice fit for us. We look to, kind of be between that 3 seed and 6 seed range in there, and that'll shake out Sunday when the coaches meet, and we'll lead into everybody's 0-0 starting next week, regardless of what happens. So good luck in playoffs. Good luck finishing out the regular season, and we look forward to seeing you Thursday night.
Thank you.
All right.
Welcome comments.